Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do this yoke that lets you make all of these baby garments. It's a really simple, really easy beginner yoke, and you can turn it into dresses by having the opening at the back. You can turn it into cardigans by keeping the opening to the front, and that is your square yoke there. You'll just work around the opening for sleeves. I'm going to show you how to make the yoke first, and then I'll show you how to make some of the garments in other videos, even into this beautiful little dress. A little cardigan. I still need to sew these ends in, with bobbles on. It's still the same pattern. That is your square yoke there. I've even got this little romper suit. I've got a little romper suit and it's opening at the back. I don't have my buttons on yet. I made some legs on it, but it's that same yoke, that same square yoke. And all it is, I'm going to move these out of the way. Fix this a little bit, and all it is these square yokes. Now both these yokes are the same amount of stitches. I just used different crochet hooks. I've got this one that's even larger, and this is how you make these. You can in bigger sizes. I'll do a video later telling you how to do from 1 to 2 year old and 2 to 3 year old, because you need to adjust the stitches for those ones. But to do newborn to 3 months, 3 to 6 months and 6 to 12 months, then you just have to change the hook size. I'm going to pop that one there, because where are my hooks? A UK 3mm for the smallest size. I used, where is it? That's my 4. I did have them aside, but I moved them. So I used, what's that one? Where is my 5.5? So I used an eye hook. If you're in the USA, that's a 5.5mm hook for the largest one. And for this one that's in between sizes, the 3 to 6 months, I used a 4mm crochet hook, and that is a 7. I think that's a 7 in the USA. And these are clover hooks. These are clover hooks. These are brilliant. They're nice and slim and easy to hold on to. They're great hooks. So just by changing the hook, you can change the size of these. Now I've got one more little garment. I'm going to pull all these aside. And where is it? This little one here. This tiny little one is a 3mm crochet hook. This one is a 3mm. Now the smaller the hook, it does make it slightly thicker, but you can use thinner yarn and use the smaller hooks with the same number of stitches as these. So this one, this one, this one and the blue one all have the same number of stitches, and they've all came out a different size by using different size hooks. So I'm going to show you how to do this yoke. And then in the next video, I'll show you how to turn the yoke into a cardigan. We'll do the cardigan first. Very simple, easy for beginners. Well, I had to learn as well. I'm going to be a grandmother in February, so I have had to learn how to do little baby clothes, and these are easy. If I can do it easy, I know a lot of people say if I can do it, you can do it. Well, I've never done a cardigan before, and this one's got sleeves a little longer, but I've learned how to do it, and I'm going to show you so that you can do some baby clothes as well, either to sell or for your family. And it's so simple. You can use any double knitting yarn. If you use an Aran yarn, this is a weight 3 in the USA. In the UK is double knitting. You'll get a bigger one. You'll get a slightly bigger yoke, but it's so versatile. It does so many things. So I'm going to show you how to do this really easy, and it's quick. It's really quick to do. It only took me an hour, not even an hour, to do a yoke like this. So to do this square, we're going to do a chain of 48 stitches. 48 stitches. And I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook. That's a UK 4.5 and 48. Now we're going to do UK treble crochets. And if you're in the USA, that's double crochets for you. And that's the stitch we'll be using throughout this square yoke. We're going to go into the 4th stitch in the chain. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The 4th stitch. And do a treble crochet. And if you're in the USA, that's a double crochet. So those chains that we miss becomes your first stitch. So I've got 1 and 2. We need 7 along. So that's 1, 2. So into the next stitch. That's 3. Into the next one in the chain. That's 4. Into the next one. 5. 6. And 7. Now we're going to increase into the same stitch. So chain 1, we're going to do our first corner. Yarn over and into that same stitch and put a treble crochet in. So count that as stitch 1. So we've got 2 in that same stitch. Count that as your first one. Now we need to go along 11 stitches. So that's 1. So into the next chain, that's 2. Into the next chain, that's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10 and 11. Now you can put stitch markers in these corners or a bright coloured piece of yarn. So you can put a stitch marker in there if you're a beginner. So we've got 11 along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Chain 1 and go into the same stitch again. We're going to do another corner. So 1 into that same stitch. And that's you made your next corner. Now going across the front of the square, I'll pull this one over that I've been working on. So we've done these 7 and we've made a corner. And we've done 11 and we've made a corner. Now we're going to go across here with 14 stitches. So you've got 7 here and 7 here and that makes 14. So that keeps this part the same width as this part here. So it depends on the garment you're making whether that becomes a front or a back. If it's a dress, it becomes a front and that becomes the back of a dress. If it's a cardigan, that is the back and then that is the opening on the front, like some of the garments I've showed you. So we've done 7 and done a corner. Then we got 11 stitches and made a corner. And now we're going to go along 14, make a corner, then we'll do 11 here, so it's the same as this side. Do a corner and then another 7. So I'll just leave that to the side just now. So remember when you do your corners it goes into the same stitch. So that counts as 1. We need 14 along. So yarn over and into the next chain. That's 2. Into the next one, that's 3. So we've got the stitch coming off the corner here. 1, 2, 3. Into the next one. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we're going to chain 1 and go into that same stitch, and we're going to do 11 along. Have a count of 11 because we're coming down this way now. So into that same stitch to make the corner, and that is stitch 1. So that's stitch 1. Into the next chain, that's 2, 3, into the next one, 4, into the next one, it's 5, into the next one. So when I'm doing my stitch, I'm making sure I've got 2 little threads on the top here when I go through these stitches. And that one, so how many have I got here? So that's my corner. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Into the next, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, and one more is 11. Oops. I'll try and catch 2 threads of that stitch. So we're going to chain 1 and do our last corner. So go into the same stitch again, and that's 1, and we should have 6 left. So that's 1, into the next chain, that's 2, into the next one, 3, into the next one, 4, 5, and 6. Now so I've got one more stitch on the end, a bit tight, and that's 7. Count that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're going to chain 2, do it quite loose, 1, 2. You don't want a big loop running up the side here. If you see how it's really neat, because I've only been doing a chain of 2. If you do 3, you end up with a sort of loop. It looks like a big hole there, and you don't want that. So chain 2 and turn, always just chain 2 and turn. Now into the next stitch, we're going to work along till we get to our corner. When you get to the corner, you're going to put 2 treble crochets, 1 chain and 2 treble crochets into the corner. Then you'll work along to the next corner, that's here, 2 treble crochets, 1 chain and 2 treble crochets. And if you're in the USA, that's double crochets for you. Work along to your next little corner, which is here, 2 trebles, 1 chain and 2 trebles, and work along to your last little corner, 2 treble crochet, 1 chain and 2 treble crochet, and then work along to the end. And remember and put a stitch in that little chain that's on the end, that little chain of 2 that you've got here. So we'll do this row, and we need 6 rounds like that, and that creates this square like this. So into the next stitch, do your treble crochet, and that's a double crochet if you're in the USA. Work along to your first corner. Move that to the side. It's amazing what these square yokes can make. One into that last stitch. Now we're going to do our increase in the corners. We're going to put 2 treble crochets, 1, and 2 into the corner, untangle my yarn, chain 1 and put another 2 into that corner, 1 and 2. We're going to work our way along, so 1 into the next stitch, into your next stitch, 1 into each stitch till you get to the corner again. And we're at the corner again, we're at that little V-stitch corner, so we're going to put 2 treble crochets, that's 2 double crochets if you're in the USA, chain 1 and 2 more into that same corner, 1, 2 into the corner space, then 1 into each stitch along to this corner. You'll do your corner, along to the next one, do your corner and then along to there. So I'll get that done. You can work at your own pace, you can pause the video, get some more yarn, work along, so remember and put your 1 into that chain, your last one there. You're going to chain 2 quite loosely and turn and do the same again. You'll increase in the corners until you've got 6 rows done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So once you've got, I'll put that aside, so you're going to do that until you've got 6 rounds done, and each round you'll increase by 8 stitches. So your first round will start with a chain of 48, and then your first row will have 50 stitches because we only went in to the stitch the once. So your very first row's got 50 stitches, then your second row will have 58 stitches, then when you go around again you'll be adding another 8, so you'll have 66 in the third row. In your fourth row you'll have 74, on your next row you'll have 82, and on this row, your sixth row, you should have 90 stitches all the way around, 90 stitches. So we're going to add one more round, because when you fold it over, it's quite short here in the body. We're going to put one more round, and we're not going to increase. We're only going to go into the corner with one treble crochet, one chain and one treble crochet. So I'll get my work sorted. So I'll show you how to do this last row. So I'm going to do my chain of 2, quite slack, and turn. And I'm going to put one treble crochet all the way to the corner. And at the corner I'm going to put one treble crochet, one chain and one treble crochet, and work along. Each corner this time, just for this last row, you won't increase. You'll just do your corner. You'll put one in there, one chain and one into the corner to make the corner. So you're only going to be increasing by 4 stitches on this last one. So by the time you've done row 7, you should have 94 stitches. So we've done our chain of 2. So don't do that first stitch because your chain's there. Go into the next stitch. Even though you're doing the corners, it's not really classed as an increase row. It's just one extra row for the size. So for this last row, you only go into the corner once. One treble crochet, chain 1 and 1 treble crochet, and then move along, work along, so you'll work all the way along there, and when you get to the corner, 1 treble crochet, 1 chain and 1 treble crochet, only on this last row, only on row 7. Work along and do 1 treble crochet, 1 chain and 1 treble crochet in the corner, and do the same all the way along. So I'm at my last corner, so into the corner I'm going to put 1 treble crochet, that's a double crochet if you're in the USA, chain 1 and put 1 more in that corner, and work along to the end. And all this row is doing is giving it a little bit more of body. Work along to the end, and that will be your yoke finished. So into my last stitch, I'm going to pull that long because my next video I'm going to show you how to turn this into a cardigan. So this is my square. This is the square. Now this is the one done with the UK 4.5mm. That's a number 7. A number 7. Now you don't need to worry about your corners being a little round here. It will get folded like this. This is how it gets folded. And when you're doing your cardigan, you'll work along here to the corner, we'll join it here, we'll work along here, and we'll join these 2 corners and work here in the round. We'll just keep going around and then back and around. I'll show you that in another video. So these 3 hooks made these 3 sizes. So the small hook made that small size. I'll bring my camera up a little bit, see if I can keep it straight. So the small one made that one. The 4.5, that's the number 7, did that one, and this larger one was the 5.5, and that's an I hook or a number 1. I don't know if it's an I or a number 1, but that made this size. It's the same number of stitches, and what it does is it makes it's the simplest way to make these bigger and get these beautiful little items. Now look at this. I made a little dress with one. You can clearly see the square, and that's your sleeves, and you can see where I've just joined it, and I went around and around and I made this. I'll do this in a different video. Now I did this one. I'm going to show you how to do this next, because that is this square. I'll do this small size because I want a smaller one, and it's so easy. And there's your square there. Your square is sitting in there. I'll get that one because I'm sure this is the 4.5 size. There we go. And that's it sitting in there. That's your square. And all I did is I went around the edge to get my sleeves, and I'll show you how to join it to get this body part, this little body part like this. So simple. It really is simple. And then I went on and I made a romper suit. Now it's the same square again, the same square, and I did it like a dress, but then I nipped it after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows. I nipped it in the middle, and then I went around and around, and I made a little leg and it's opened here at the back, so it turned into a little romper suit. Now you can do the same thing and just have it and go straight across, make it a little longer, just go straight across and make it into a sleeping bag as well. I'll do a video for that. And I've got this one, showed you this one. Now this one, I'll do the other square that I've got, even though it's in this green. I'll show you how to do this pretty little dress. Now that's your square. I did go around the edge and put a little edge. It's a yoke, half treble crochet and a slip stitch, half treble crochet and slip stitch. You do it on the inside so that it shows up on the outside. I'll show you that. And I just did this little granny stitch. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows with 2 stitches. Then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, 6 rows, 7 rows with 3, and the last row I put 4 on it, and I did my chains in the middle. I'll show you how to do that as well. And then I went one step further, and look what I did with my little square. Where is the little square? Now you can even do the same amount of stitches and use a 3mm hook, and I think that's about that one. There's my square there. And all I did with it is I just did some bobble stitches when I made it. And this is a different yarn from that, but still double knitting. And it just shows you how versatile this little square is. That's the little square in there. And it makes these lovely little cardigans. And I'll show you this one more time. My little dress. Now this is a bigger one. This was done with the 5.5 hook, just to show you how these small sizes can easily be adjusted just by adjusting your crochet hook. And I put this little, I can't even remember what this stitch is called. I'll show you how to do it in another video. I'll need to look it up and see what one it's called. I can't remember which one this stitch is called. I've just got this one in my head. And it's got this sort of little, so it zigs over, zigs back, and zigs over and zigs back. It's really pretty. And I've got the opening on the back here. Now with this, I did go around the edge on that. I did that half treble crochet, or a half double crochet if you're in the USA, slip a stitch and then a half treble crochet around the edge to give it this neat little edge. I didn't do the sleeve, I just left the sleeve. And to put a button on, you just need to stitch a button on, and you can use the space to hold your buttons. I haven't got any buttons on any of them. I need to go and get buttons. I've got some buttons. My friend Glennis gave me some buttons and I can use them. So you can get all of that, all these and more. If you use your imagination, you can get a lot more with things done with that square. These simple yokes that I've done here. And I've got my other blue one over there. So thank you very much for watching. Watch the next video. I'll show you how to turn this smaller one into a little cardigan. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click on that subscribe button, and if you click on the bell icon, YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. Please click on the subscribe button. It's only going to take a few minutes and it's completely free to subscribe to the channel. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.